Welcome to Crazy Tech. In this video, we will be discussing about conditional and looping operations. Okay, so let's get started. So let's have a quick look about if statement. Okay, so initialize a variable. Let's say a is equal to 1, an integer, b equals to a string. Let's say it's mac. Okay, if is a double equals to, it's a comparison operator. Single equals to, it's an assignment operator. For comparison, we have to use double equals to 1. So let's display a function. Display success, else end. So here we have to use end key as a terminator, but remember in C++ where we have to use curly bracket. Here there is no curly bracket, only end. So simple. Let's quickly play it. It's success. Okay, for not equals to, we have to use tilde here. Tilde equals to means it's not equals to. Okay, so let's make it failure. Okay, so it's working. So this is the simplest example of if I want a another conditional another condition, so we can write it here with a keyword and b equals to, let's say, mac, sorry, mag. So here and operator, what its purpose is, if both the conditions are true, then only this line will execute. Okay, so run it. Let's say equals to 1. So here it's success. Okay, if any of these condition fails, then execution will not happen. Here we have to go to the else statement. This line will execute. Okay, failure. So in OR condition, sorry, here is your OR operator. Okay, double stick. In OR operator, any of this, if either or, either this statement or this statement or both of them will have to be true to execute this line. Okay, so this condition failed, but this condition becomes success. So display success has executed here. So this is the basic idea of if condition. So quickly jump into our switch statement. Switch. Okay, so you have been through this in switch statement in C++. Hopefully I assume my viewers are from BTech or MTech background. If you don't know about switch statement, fine, just you have to know that its syntax, and it will execute multiple conditions at a time. Okay, no, I mean to say you have multiple options and you can execute one option at a time. Okay, let's say switch a variable name a. Okay, so in any case, by you have to enter a value inside a, so you can define your options here, just like case 1. If a equals to your input a equals to 1, then let's say we have to display 1 here. Okay, copy it. Similarly, let's play another case 2. We have to display 2. So you may have multiple options. Okay, case 1, case 2, case 3 up to infinite case, but there is a last and final step is that we have to make another case of default case. Okay, so in default we have to use otherwise. Default we generally use it in C, C++. Here we have to use otherwise. It's so, let's say it shows display other value and terminate with a end keyword. So here you go, you have option 1, 2, 3, 4 infinite. If any of the option does not fall between these options, so it will execute this line otherwise option. Let's play it here. Okay, display, it's DISP, display, run it. So here you get 1. Okay, if I put values other than 1 and 2, it will go to the otherwise option, other value. Okay, simple. Okay, delete it. Let's quickly peek into the for loop. Simple, it's a for keyword, I equals to 1 to 10. It's an incremental operator. I have discussed it in second video, I think. And put a end keyword here. Okay, I want to display I, so just write I without semicolon, so the value will be displayed here. Okay, let's play it. Okay, here you go, you have values 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So hope you guys remember this thing, I is equal to 1 to 10. This incremental operator, what it does, it increment starting from 1 till 10 with a value of 1. Okay, if I will write this, okay, it will increment by a value of 2 till 10. Okay, here you go. So here is, you have to assign a incremental operator. Fine. Okay, let's put a conditional operator here. If I equals to 5, then we have to pause. Okay, as name suggests, the program counter halts there. Okay, program counter will halt here. Okay, play it. Let me display something. F5. Okay, run it. Okay, 5. Now you can see the program counter stops here. Pause. Here you can see it paused. Press any key, it's paused. Okay, I hit any key here and program counter releases from this point. So we can see it by displaying a value of I here also. Here you can clearly visualize it. Okay, let's play, have a value I here. Okay, here okay, I equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Here you go, it stops here. Now I hit any key, let's hit enter. Now it will execute further. Okay, similarly, what if I put here a break statement? What it does, whenever this program counter hits this breakpoint, the program counter will be thrown out of this for loop. Okay, let's play it. Here you go, I equals to 1, 2, 3, 4, I equals to 5, and program ends. Means, so here program counter after hitting break statement, it comes out of the loop. Okay, so I equals to 5, so further increment I doesn't occur. Okay, let's see break keyword further deeper. Let's define another for loop, j equals to 1 to 10 end. So loop inside a loop. So it's showing parentheses are not needed in first statement. Okay, so let me tell you, I have been using MATLAB since 6 months from now. That's why I forgot a little bit, so hope you guys excuse me. Then let's have another if statement here. If inside another if is called nested if. If j equals to 5, else, and put this two line here, break statement. Okay, I should write I here, j here. Okay, fine. So okay, so if I equals to 5 and j equals to 5, in this condition only our program counter hits this breakpoint. Let's see, play it. Okay, go to top, I equals to 1. When I equals to 1, j loop through 1 to 10. When I equals to 2, j loop through 1 to 10. Similarly for I equals to 3. Similarly for I equals to 4. But now when I equals to 5, see here, when j equals to 5, program counter hit breakpoint here. Okay, then program counter came out of this immediate for loop, not from the entire for loop. It came out of this for loop. That's why j stops here at j equals to 5. Okay, so j stops here at 5. It then I further continues with a value of 6 with as usual manner j from 1 to 10. Okay, then again I equals to 7. So my point is, guys, to show you that this break statement, whenever program counter hit this break statement, it does not depend, does not matter how much if condition you are using in this for loop. It comes out of this if conditions, nested if conditions also, from this immediate for loop also, not from this outer for loop. Only the enclosing for loop, it will come out of this enclosing for loop. Okay, you will be needing this break statement infinite number times in your upcoming program session, when we will be discussing their signal processing and image processing. Okay, very powerful tool, break. So now let's quickly jump into the while loop. So while a equals to 10, end, let's say it's 0. So here we can't while. We are not allowed to use incremental operator here, not in while, but in for loop we are allowed to use incremental operator, but not in while. Let's see if it does or does not. If I equals to 1 to 10, no, it does not. It will show you error. A less than 10. Let's display value. Okay, run it. Sorry. Now we have to increment a by a value of 1. Neither you will have a infinite loop, because a equals to 0, a always remain 0 here on less than 10. So if you want increase the value with a value 1, then you would end up with a infinite loop. Okay, now run it. Sorry, I have put a semicolon here, that's why command window is empty. So remove the semicolon. Here you go. Okay, a equals to 1 to 10. Okay, so let's have a infinite loop. So for infinite loop, the basic protocol is to make this condition always true for any case. Just put a number here, 5. So I have told you in my previous video, I think, any value other than 0, it will be taken as 1 or true. So any value other than 0 means 5, it will be true, and it will be true for infinite number of times. So display value, let's say loop, play it, and you will have a infinite loop. So you can see the program is busy. So here is you have an infinite loop. Okay, stop this. So let's see a function pause again. So here it's the same function with a different color. What is it? Pause 3 means it will delay this loop by a amount of 3 seconds. Play it. Okay, then after 3 seconds it will loop again. Okay, so you may need this kind of infinite loops many times in signal processing. Okay, so this is the basic things you need to know before trying a code of your own. Hope you guys have enjoyed this video. Meet you in the next lecture. Till then, bye bye, take care.